Have you ever noticed that some of the things you complain about the most are also the things you never seem to leave behind? The job you hate, the relationship that drains you, the project you've been about to start for years, the habit you swear you're done with. You call it being stuck. But what if that's not what's happening? What if the real reason you can't move forward isn't that something is holding you back, but that something inside you is holding you in place? Because here's a strange truth. Most obstacles don't survive because they're strong. They survive because they're useful. Think about someone who dreams of starting a business. They watch videos, read books, make plans, take notes. Months become years. From the outside, it looks like procrastination. But ask a different question. What happens if they actually start? They might fail. They might lose money. Because staying stuck provides something valuable: protection. As long as the dream stays in their head, it stays perfect. Reality can't hurt it. Now, a more interesting question appears. Psychologists often point out that behavior serves a function, even when that behavior seems irrational. Take the student who always studies at the last minute. Every semester is stressful. Every semester they promise things will be different. Every semester the same pattern returns. Why? Because procrastination creates an escape hatch. If they fail, they can tell themselves, "I didn't really try." But not as painful as discovering they tried their hardest and still weren't enough. The behavior looks self-destructive. The hidden function is self-protection. And once you see that, a disturbing possibility emerges. What if many of the things we call weaknesses are actually defenses? Now, another mystery appears. If these hidden benefits are so important, why don't we notice them? Because the mind is remarkably skilled at hiding uncomfortable truths. Imagine a relationship that should have ended years ago. Someone says, "I'm staying because things might get better." Maybe that's true, but maybe something else is true too. Maybe it would force them to rebuild their identity. Maybe it would force them to confront the possibility that they wasted years. The conscious reason is hope. The hidden reason is fear. And fear rarely introduces itself honestly. It prefers disguises. This is where things become uncomfortable. Sometimes progress feels dangerous, not because the future is risky, but because the present is rewarding in ways we don't recognize. A familiar routine may be miserable, but it's predictable. Predictability reduces uncertainty, and the human brain values certainty more than most people realize. That's why people often miss opportunities they spent years claiming they wanted. The opportunity threatens an invisible benefit, a benefit they never knew they were protecting. But the story goes even deeper, because the thing holding you back may have once saved you. Imagine a child who learns that staying quiet prevents criticism. That strategy works. It protects them. Years pass. Meetings become difficult. Conversations become difficult. Opportunities pass them by. What was once protection has become limitation. The shield became a prison. The armor became a chain. And that changes the question entirely. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" ask, "What is this behavior trying to do for me?" That single question replaces judgment with curiosity. And curiosity reveals things that self-criticism never will. Maybe your perfectionism is protecting you from judgment. Maybe your indecision is protecting you from regret. Maybe your constant busyness is protecting you from a truth you'd rather avoid. But every answer leads to one final question. Do you still need that protection? Because the greatest irony is that most defenses outlive the dangers they were built to handle. A castle wall makes sense during a war. It becomes a cage when peace arrives. The same thing happens in the mind. The habit remains. The fear remains. The protection remains. But the original threat disappeared long ago. So remember this. What feels like a chain today may be an old shield that forgot its job was temporary. And once you see that, being stuck stops looking like weakness. The goal isn't to fight yourself. It's to understand what part of you is still trying to help. Because people rarely become free by attacking their defenses. They become free when they discover the hidden benefit that kept those defenses alive.